Where does that like pent up anger come from?
There's always like that joke that Korean people have like K rage. I get that a lot of people are like, oh, you probably fight a lot because you are Korean. I only want to work with people who they know what they want. I don't want to train someone just because they think that I'm hot and they want to spend time with me. I know you're not really here to work out, like you're staring at me the whole time. That's like what I'm trying to avoid. I was bullied like pretty severely growing up. I used to just go out and like every time I would get drunk, I would try to like get into a street fight. Fitness like really did save my life. It stopped me from doing shit like that. Everybody that made fun of me, like going like this to me in elementary school, they're the ones dropping like 10 grand on a BTS concert. And I'm like, okay, I knew it was going to come back around.
What does it mean to be a good friend?
You have to be consistent.
One of my older brothers, he's Chinese and he's dated a few Vietnamese girls. He says Viet girls are crazy.
It's just like a stereotype. Sometimes people like they don't even date Viet girls and they're like, oh yeah, Viet girls are crazy. I would never date one. I'm like, all right, date one first and then let me know how it is.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's your week been?
Good. So I just kind of do the same thing every single day, so they all just kind of blend together sometimes.
Is that you have the same wake up sleep routine 7 days?
Yeah, pretty much. I think my rest days are usually Sundays, so I just force myself. But other than that, I'm like pretty stuck in my routine, which I really like. I am definitely a creature of routine.
What time do you usually sleep and wake up?
Ooh, sleep. I try to go to sleep around 10:30, and I usually wake up at around 6:37.
Okay, so you sort of like
Yeah.
get like 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that is absolutely like critical for me. If I don't sleep like a full 7, 8 hours, then I don't know. It just kind of throws me off like the whole day.
Yeah. So is it like Lil D? Is that what is
Lil D, yeah, it's just a nickname. My real name is Donna, but online I'll just go by like Lil D just because I don't know, it's cute.
what do your friends call you? Donna or Lil D or D?
Usually just D, Lil D.
D, Lil D. That's
Yeah.
cool. When did you get the nickname? Was it in like high school, college?
It was actually in college. In my friend group, we had somebody else. We had a friend named Diana, and people kept getting like us confused because our names are like pretty similar. And so she was like, "All right, everybody, just call me Big D, and this is Lil D." And I was like, "Lil D, I like it."
So I was in San Francisco in 2019 and I was sort of like in this startup. And before me, there was like Vincent, there was another Vincent, and there was another Vincent. So to differentiate it, the boss, we just called him Vince. And then sort of his right-hand man, we called him Vinny.
Okay,
And the kid that was there before me, they called him Lil V.
Lil V. Oh, that's cute. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just yeah. I mean, it's just all very. It's like same name, different fonts kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So D, like tell me a bit about I know how I came across you. I think I was just scrolling through Instagram Reels and I just maybe came across one of your Reels and I added you to the podcast list of people that I wanted to reach out and trying to get influencers. But yeah, I guess tell me a bit about what you've been focused on for the last 6 months.
Um, Let me see. I would definitely say my content definitely grew the most within this last year. I think just I honestly like it kind of came as a surprise to me too, like how quickly it blew up. I want to say like it all started with just like these very like quick daily vlogs. I would just like record like little snippets of my day, just put them together, throw some lo-fi music in the back, add like funny captions, and then that was it. And I noticed like the traction was like, dude, it was all right. Like I had like my usual like friends like comment on it and like usual followers and all that, but it really wasn't until I started adding the voiceovers into my daily vlogs that it's just started to skyrocket. And I think a lot of it just really stems from my slogan of "Hey, dumbass," because it definitely is like an attention grabber and people just kind of like do like a second take. They're like, what the like what you just call me, and so after I started seeing like my traction do like very well with the voiceovers, I just kind of like just started to like expand from there. And I was like, hey, like people want to see more personality on the internet, right? Like our attention spans are so short that sometimes like daily vlogs just don't cut it because we watch like the first 3 seconds and then we're like, all right, whatever, it's just another person getting ready for their day. But I think adding the voiceover and adding like a lot more personality into all of my content, just like making it real, helped me kind of get to where I am right now. So yeah, I think for now my plan is just to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm definitely trying to focus more of my content right now on combat sports, fitness, more so like promoting like a healthy lifestyle now, because now that I kind of have like the views, now that I have the audience, I really want to encourage other people and kind of like use my platform to, get people active, get people moving, because that's like one of my really like that honestly, like fitness and working out, combat sports is like one thing that kind of like really like saved my life. So, if I can like open the door or encourage other people to, just get started on like their own like health journey, then everything that I do for content was worth it.
So cool. That's such a beautiful vision, D.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I guess where were you at before you got into fitness? And sort of like, yeah, how do you think or what impact did it have on you?
Um, Before I got into fitness, I have pretty much tried every single career path like possible, like just even like the most random things. I was trying to get into like esthetician work. I was a dog trainer for a while. I've always like worked restaurant, hospitality jobs, office jobs, all those kind of things. But I think the one thing that I realized amongst all those is like when I'm consistently working out is when I'm at my happiest. Despite like no matter like what is going on, like as long as I have the gym and as long as I'm consistently going, like I have an outlet. And so once I started getting like kind of into combat sports, and actually my current occupation right now is I'm actually the content creator for my gym. So it's kind of like a blend of like both of my passions, which like I'm extremely thankful and like I feel extremely blessed every single day to be able to like wake up and do what I love, right? So I get to do the content side of it, but I also get to, just work out. Yeah, that's kind of like how I got into all of it. I would probably have to say like if I didn't try everything that I did in the past, I probably would have never found what I really loved right now.
Mm, that's so cool. Do you feel like where does that like pent up anger come from? The pent up, so you know how fitness is an outlet for you to like let things out. Do you think it's just genetically you just just maybe genetically more angry and you need an outlet?
I do. I mean, there's always like that joke that Korean people have like K rage,
Yeah.
and I get that a lot of people are like, oh, you probably fight a lot because you are Korean. But
Yeah.
to be honest, my workouts don't come from a place of anger. Like the main reason like why I work out is that's like my time to completely shut out the rest of the world and just focus on this one task. Because I'm the kind of person where I'm not angry, but I'm very anxious. I'm in a constant state of worry, constant state of stress. Like it's very, very hard for me to just sit in one place and relax because then I start feeling like even if I have nothing to do, if I'm just sitting and relaxing, like for some reason I have like this little thing in the back of my head, like, man, like I'm so unproductive right now. Like I need to do something. But when I go to the gym, like my mind is completely clear. Like I don't even have time to think about what I need to do for the day. It's like my moment to just kind of escape from reality. So I think that's like the real reason like why I work out is just for my own mental sanity.
That's so cool. What got you like posting on social? Like when you were like a dog trainer and doing all these different things, like what made you, did you like just want to grow a following? Did you just want to be famous? Or what was the main catalyst for you to start posting consistently?
um I I kind of started posting like when I went to the gym, like started going to the gym, and those two things like just kind of went hand in hand. And honestly, I think it was like a confidence thing because once I started going to the gym and I was like, I look good, and I was like, you know what? I want to share this. You don't have to lie to kick it. Every single content creator might be like, oh, like I like it's not about the attention, like it's whatever. I just do this for my own will. Like, don't lie. I love attention. I do it for the attention. Like you just have to be 100% honest, And it's like, it just makes me feel like there's a way for me to quantify the work that I've been putting in. Like this is the life that I've built. these are my workouts. This is what I do on a day to day. And like, really, I post it just to inspire other people, but also it makes me feel good about myself. So why the hell not?
That's so cool. Have you been like focused on your social media? Have you been focused on like getting a six pack? Have you been focused on training so you can win a Muay Thai sort of competition? Or have you been focusing on coaching? Or is it everything?
It's honestly kind of a blend of everything. I do have plans in the future to open up some online coaching as well as like in-person personal training. Just because like on one end, like I love like working out, I love training and all that, but it also makes me feel very good to like help someone else out and help them reach their goals, helping them like kind of fall in love with the process. There's that. And then for kind of like the combat sports side, I mean, I do want to compete eventually one day, like, just for fun. I'm kind of old now, so I'm like, whether I win or lose, I don't really care. Like, it's just for like the experience, it's just for the XP. But I think I've only been doing Muay Thai for about 5, 6 months now, a little bit shy of 5, 6 months. And most of the people that are like in the competition have been doing it their whole life. So I was like, okay, let me give myself at least like a year to see like where I end up Muay Thai wise, and then I can like kind of judge from there because I still am like working on like fundamentals because to master Muay Thai is a very, very long journey. That's pretty much your whole lifetime to be a master.
Interesting. Like, let's say if we look into the near future, what would your ideal job be? Like, best case scenario, what would you be doing and getting paid for doing that?
Ooh, like dream job. Now, I would love to be a like basically like the like a creative director. Or I want to be like the social media manager for professional fighters. I think that would be really fun. So there is actually so the biggest organization for combat sports is One Championship. It's huge. It's absolutely insane. And they have like a couple people on their team who like are content creators, and they basically just go and they like interview the fighters. They do like fun little skits. They do like, basically just like content like for the whole page. And so like dream job, it would be that right there because you get to travel, you get to hang out with like all these like professional athletes, like just like the environment. I feel like I would grow so much combat sport wise and also content creator wise.
That's so cool. Because
Yeah.
for some reason, most people would have assumed, or I would have assumed that your answer would be like growing your own social media, get to a
Hmm.
point where you can maybe get sponsors and somehow like basically do social media full time. But what you said is way cooler. Joining sort of ONE FC and then doing like their
Yeah.
content and interviewing their fighters. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like I mean, like like my own personal content, like I still focus on my like day to day growing that. But I mean, really, like social media is out there for us to meet other people. It's kind of ironic how like social media like it has kind of made us more antisocial because we're so stuck on our phones just scrolling and everything. But I think like the real reason why it was made was to network, and that's like its original purpose, to network and just have fun with it. And so if I were like given that opportunity to like travel, like because they go all over the world because they like follow like the main like fight cards and everything. So they'll go to like Dubai, like mainly like Thailand. They'll come out to the United States. Like Denver has a auditorium that they fight in. Like I would just love to just travel and just record what I love.
So cool. Yeah, I think you're so right. Like with social media, like if it wasn't for social media, I'd be forced to just talk to people in my neighborhood. And to
Right.
be honest, like all the people that are in my circle, the people I talk with over my podcast, everyone that's in my life, none of them I met randomly locally on the streets. Like everyone I've met through social media. So it's like such a blessing. I guess those who use it to sort of connect with others. Like that's why I love doing the podcast. Like I'm talking to someone on the other side of the world. And yeah, but I think you're right. Social media also causes people to just doom scroll and not be social.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like how you use it, Like I know some people who and I find myself like doing this from time to time too, who use social media kind of as like in a way where they kind of end up discouraging themselves from being able to unlock their true potential. And social media being so fake too, it makes it like almost impossible. Like, for example, like in terms of like fitness goals, right? Like I'll be scrolling through my social media and I'll see a girl and wow, like she looks amazing, like six pack, ripped abs, like her quads are like crazy. You could see all the definition, everything. And more likely than not, she might be on steroids, you know? So for me to compare myself to somebody who's obviously taking like an enhancement drug is unfair and that hurts my self image. Just because I keep expecting myself to naturally get to this physique when they're using drugs or some kind of like performance enhancing Photoshop, anything like that. But I think social media can also be a really powerful tool because it motivates us and it like makes us be like, hey, like that's what I want to be. And it like you end up like imitating what they do and it like you end up growing more as a person because you have somebody to follow.
You're right. It's like it's so unhealthy where you're just going through stories on Instagram and you see someone's in Japan, someone's in Bali, someone just bought a new
Yeah.
car, someone just paid their mum's mortgage off. And it's like, you're just going through, I'm like, man, like, what the hell? I feel like a loser right now. I'm just like
Right.
working. And then you don't realize that that's their one highlight for their whole year. And that for the rest of the year, they're just at home working. And you're just constantly just seeing highlights of everyone's life. And it's not even normal. Back in the days, you didn't know what someone across the world was doing.
Yeah, right.
Own bubble. So not only are you being fed the best things of people's life, you're just being fed too much information. So I think
Yeah.
like I've over the last 6 months, I've like quit consuming content on Instagram. Like I don't go through stories. I try not to scroll through the news feed, and
Mhm.
I feel so much more free.
Right. Yeah, it was actually I actually have my phone on do not disturb except for like work people,
Mm.
or except for anything like work related. But other than that, I have all my other like Instagram like notifications pretty much just shut off so that I'm not tempted. Like every time someone sends a message, I'm not tempted to go and like take a look at it. So I end up just sitting there and just scrolling. And so I'm like, oh, this is such a waste of time, you know? But yeah, I feel like social media, it could get very toxic if not like used correctly.
Great. When like you definitely have like that unique personality. If you had like a friend or family member, they're like, "Hey, D, like, how can I get on social? Like, what should my hook be? What should my unique thing be?" What would you advise them? Like, how can they find their unique sort of like, I don't know, catchphrase or personality? Like, how do they
Uh,
become another day in a life person?
Um, I think finding your niche for like content creating definitely takes some time. I would just say just post like what you love to do, you know, like everybody has a hobby or I mean like if even if you don't have any hobbies, you know, like it's never too late to like go and find one. And I would say like, you know, everything is like kind of cultish like in a way, you know, like everything has like its own like little society. So I think like once you just start consistently making content that focuses on one niche, people from that niche are going to see what you are posting and it kind of like opens up and you know, you're able to have more eyes of people like in your field come and look at your content and that's how it slowly grows. I think a lot of my content actually started out in the I would say like tattoo niche because during COVID I started with my back piece and then after that you know it just kind of I have a very addictive personality so it just I got a little carried away with it but yeah I think I was just posting like basically like all the information that I had and like my artwork and like the history and like the story behind like certain tattoos in the beginning and people started like picking up on that and it was like educational it kind of helped them keep like have in the back of their mind what they wanted as their tattoo and I think it just like opened up like just consistently posting under one niche just kind of opens up and helps you like build a following and kind of like a sense of like kind of like a community too.
Yeah. It's like, how do you go about like building that cult following? You know, you've seen people like
Yeah.
that will get like 100,000 views on a video and there's only 20 comments, but
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
they might have only 10,000 views, but have like 50 comments. Yeah,
I would say social media wise, hashtags are always a good one. The time that you post things can also make a difference. Again, these are all kind of just from what I've picked up. I don't know if it's 100% true, like this is the TikTok out or the like Instagram algorithm. Hashtags are a huge one. I usually, if I post a video, whatever is related in the video, I usually try to hashtag it or find like related tags. Let me see. Certain times of the day, you're more likely to get traction. Also, the first 3 seconds of your reel is very important. So you have to make sure to grab their attention within those first 3 seconds. So for me, it's like my slogan was, "Hey, dumbass." And so for a stranger to be calling you that on the internet is kind of like, what? It's very shocking, you know? But that ends up having the people just stay and they end up just watching the whole thing. And I would just say, like, just try to be as real as you can. Try to make it funny, try to, be up with the times, like whatever's trending, kind of like play into that. Any like trending audio, so like big songs, like Kendrick just did the Super Bowl, and all the videos that I've seen of people, replicating his dance and doing it like around the house and everything are like viral. So I think just like being up to the times is like the most important thing.
that's great tips, Steve. And then do all your videos have that same 3 second hook?
Yeah. So all my videos, I think I like pretty much, I would say like 99% of all my videos all start out with, "Hey, dumbass. What's up, dumbass? Listen here, dumbass." Like they're all like that. Yeah.
That's so cool. And what's your posting schedule like, Dee?
Um, I make it a goal to try to post at least once a day. It doesn't always work out like that just because of life. But I think one thing that I really learned on my content creator journey is to not force content. So I know that like the algorithm like kind of blesses people who post every day. Like I think they said ideally they want you to do like 2 or 3 posts a day, which is kind of a lot. Like that is very like people think like, oh, Instagram famous people have it so easy. All they do is travel and take pictures and post it and then they're done. No, that is 100% not true. Content creation is more than a 40-hour a week job. Like sometimes you're like stuck on your phone editing, trying to get like the perfect shot, do this and that, and it ends up being like a lot more work. So I definitely learned not to force any content because it can be seen too. Like I realized once, like sometimes like I'm like just not in the mood or like I'm having a bad day and I try to do the voiceovers and I listen back to it and I'm like, man, like it's just not there. Like I sound so unhappy or I just sound like I'm being forced to do this, you know? And usually like even if like those videos where it sounds kind of forced, if I post it, it doesn't do well, you know? But the videos that like I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm joking around, I'm like poking fun at them. Like those are the videos that like really take off. And those are the ones that like get me like the most attention too. So I would say like as far as posting, post when you want. Just like this is your social media. You have no rules. You like, if you run your own shit, just just post whatever you want, whenever you want. And if it's genuine good content, then the views will come. Like, don't be so worried about like if like I used to have this really bad habit of every time that I would post a reel, I would literally sit there for 30 minutes just refreshing to see how many likes I got within the first 30 minutes. And I'm watching like the views like slowly rise up. And it's so toxic doing it like that. And I'm like, what am I getting so obsessed for? So now, like, whenever I post something, just post it, leave it, and just like forget about it the next day. And just like check on it just because I'm scrolling through Instagram. I'm like, okay, this one did well. Like, this is what I did in this video, and kind of take notes from it so that I have it in mind for like my next set of like content.
Love that. That's so cool. Well, where do you think you get your high energy? You have like a high bubbly energy. Is this you default all the time?
This, yeah, I would pretty much say I have been told that I don't have an internet personality. Like what I mean by that is because I'm like this 24/7. I
Yeah.
am a I am okay, to be fair, I'm also a very caffeinated human. I absolutely like I drink so much coffee, energy drinks, take pre-workout, do all of that. But I don't know. I have been told, and I would like to say so too, that this is just how I am like all the time, which a lot of people kind of find that surprising sometimes, because especially with like content creators, is they have this whole internet persona, and then you meet them in person and they're like the complete opposite, and you're just like, oh, like it kind of throws you off a little bit. So for me, it's like I don't like to be like that. Like I want you to like look at my content, and even if you've never met me before, if you meet me in person after you've already seen some of my videos, you'll be like, oh, okay, this checks out. I just try to keep it as honest as I can, with like my following and everything.
What are you like before your morning coffee?
Oh, I don't know. I'm definitely a morning person. So I am kind of like this the second that I wake up. But
Yeah.
if you try to ask me to do anything after 8 p.m., I will probably be super grumpy because I cannot stand being tired. Like I I usually like that's why like I try to wake up like pretty early and just get everything done in the morning just because I know that I'm hyped, I'm in a good mood. So everything that I don't want to do, try to just do it in the morning. And then so all the easy, like mundane tasks that I don't really have to think too hard about, do it towards the end of the day. Just because like around I would say like 5 or 6 after I eat dinner, like my energy just completely crashes and I'm just chilling.
What's your diet like? Do you eat like breakfast, lunch, dinner? Do you intermittent fast, one meal a day?
Ooh, diet wise, let me see. So I do intermittent fast from, I usually try to stop eating, try to stop snacking at around like 9. So I guess I fast from like that 9 to like 6. I usually work out from around like 7 to noon. So my first meal will be at noon. So I have like that fasting period right there. I try to eat as clean as possible. My boyfriend is an extremely good cook. So it's hard to diet sometimes because I know that he's a good cook and I know like pretty much like what I like want to eat will like he'll try to like like make that, and I love like everything unhealthy. Like I love burgers, I love pizza, like anything like super carby and healthy for you. But life is all about balance, right? So I'll eat like pretty clean like throughout the week, and then on the weekends, like just treat myself, just go out, get an extra milkshake, get some ice cream, things like that.
Is your boyfriend also a cook? Does he like work as a cook real life?
He's actually a Muay Thai coach.
Uh,
Yeah, so he is the head Muay Thai coach for our MMA gym.
that's so cool. And I guess that's how you met him, right?
Yeah, we've known each other for a little while, but yeah, we met like at the gym, which is really nice because like I learned a lot from him, and yeah, it's just it's nice because it's just like someone to learn from that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, because I think in my mind, I've always thought it'd be cool to have a partner that's like a chef or cook. But then if you think about it, after a day of work, the last thing they want to do is cook at
Is
home,
cook.
right?
I've actually heard that most professional chefs like
Mm.
eat very very simple when they come home. They'll just eat like a spam rice and eggs kind of meal. It's because like they are like so busy during like their entire shift, like making sure everything's like super like meticulous, super perfect. But once they come home, sometimes like the basics hit. Sometimes that's all
Yeah.
you want to eat.
Yeah. So given that you're like always highly caffeinated pre-workout, coffee, energy drinks, have you ever tried going through a day with zero caffeine? And what is that like?
Ooh, it's rough. I try to make I if I don't work out, I try not to drink any coffee or have any caffeine for that day, just as kind of like a maybe like a tolerance reset almost. But I don't know. To be honest, it's been a while since I haven't had caffeine for a day. I know that's really bad, and like I preach fitness and health, and caffeine is not the greatest for you. I mean, it's something that, to be honest, I doesn't really bother me too much. It's like I like it's not like super detrimental to my health. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll let myself have one drug, and the one drug is caffeine.
Nice, nice. How do you structure your day? What's your day to day? Because I know you said it's pretty routine. Yeah, and is it the same routine 7 days a week? I guess you can break it down.
Yeah, so let me see. It basically is the same routine every single day. I usually like roll out of bed, roll around to the gym around like 7. I'll stay there until like noon. I'm not working out the entire time because like I'll work out for like an hour, just kind of chill, talk, socialize because honestly, I do not really get out of the house much. The only people that I socialize with besides my housemate is people from the gym. So that's like my one chance to just kind of like talk, socialize. So since I also work at the gym, I get to work out and then shoot the content at the same time, which is really nice. Which is I think why a reason like why I spend so much time at the gym is because I'll like go and hit a set and then I'll start recording like somebody boxing. And then I'll edit it a little bit on the treadmill. Like I'll walk and edit it. And then I'll go back, do some more weights, and then record another video, edit it on the treadmill, and just kind of like do that like cycle. So it's nice because I get to work and work out at the same time. I'll usually do that, come home, eat lunch, and then go right back to the gym for either a second workout or my boyfriend teaches the Muay Thai classes. So I'll go and do like some more Muay Thai and I don't know. There are some days where I just like to go and hang out too. I just like the vibes there. I would like, you know, I would say like if anybody is like struggling to find a community, I think the gym community, especially in combat sports, is a great one to tap into. Only because you are around some like you're around fighters, right? Like these people both like have the discipline inside, but it also carries outside of the gym as well. I think like how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So a lot of the people like at our gym, like our coaches, a lot of the fighters, like they're very structured, disciplined people, like when it comes to their training, but also like in life too. So they're good people just to go and get life advice from, and just talk about like anything that you want pretty much. So yeah, pretty much my day. If I'm not at home, I'm at the gym. I don't really do much outside of that.
And then I guess is the company hiring you full time for their social media, or is it how does it work?
I just work part-time. My workload is pretty much just consists of like on a weekly basis, just making sure that the Instagram is updated, the story is updated. I also help with coordinating like some special events. So our gym does like pop-up, as the weather gets better, it's finally starting to like get a little bit better now, but we hold like pop-up events where we'll host local vendors, have a DJ. We'll do like some boxing demonstrations. Like we'll do like little we're actually planning for a little competition for this spring, which is like a kettlebell competition. So it's basically like just doing flips, tricks, like throwing like a little show with the kettlebell. So it's like one of those like weird displays of athleticism. But I'm very excited for that. I also coordinate like a lot of the community projects that we do. So right now, we are working on a anti-bullying seminar that we want to go and deliver to elementary schools. Kind of like go in there and do like a two bird, one stone, like teach the kids about like the importance of health, fitness, but also like throw in like the anti-bullying aspect of it. Because I was bullied like pretty severely growing up, but once I started working out and finding combat sports is where I kind of like started standing up for myself. And like I think like it would be super beneficial, like just for kids to have like just like a good like kind of like an older sibling figure almost like just to like look up to and just know that oh like I'm not alone like and I know how to defend myself. I think that's like a huge thing for kids nowadays.
Oh. Did you experience most bullying? Was it in like college, high school, primary school? Um,
I was pretty much bullied my growing up like Um, all the pretty much all the way through high school, yeah. I would say elementary school. I grew up in a very predominantly white area. I was one of like the few, like very few Asian kids in my area growing up. So that was always like kind of hard. I had to go through like the lunchbox effect, which is like when you bring like your weird Asian food to school and people don't want to be your friend because it smells like little things like that. I've always had to like face like growing up. And to be honest, like I wasn't like this like growing up. I was actually like extremely shy. But I think once I started getting into sports and once I started like seeing like physical like changes and like I liked how I looked, that really reflected like on the outside. Like I was like way more confident. And then I wouldn't say I was like bullied in my 20s, like early 20s, but I used to get into a lot of fights, like going out to party and everything. And
Yeah.
this is actually before like I started doing any Muay Thai, like any boxing, any of that, you know? I used to just go out and like every time I would get drunk, I would try to like get into a street fight.
Yeah.
And it was so dumb, you know, but I think that really stemmed from a place of lacking confidence because
Mm.
every time that I went out, I felt like I had something to prove to
Mm.
people. Even if nobody was asking for it, it was just like an internal thing, you know. But once I like, you know, that's why like I repeat like so many times, like fitness like really did save my life
Mm.
because it stopped me from doing shit like that because I'm way more confident. I have nothing to prove. It's like now when I go out and it's like, oh, like I do know, like I know how to fight, but I'm not gonna go out looking for it because why the hell should I? You know, like I'm perfectly comfortable like being me. I have nothing to prove to anybody else, which is nice. It's a nice feeling.
Wow. How do you think you transition from like being like that shy Asian girl to like being a girl that is looking for fights? In other words, like, getting drunk and getting rowdy. How did that
um,
transition happen?
I think I was just shy growing up. Just naturally, just shy. When I was in like my early 20s, I just partied a lot. I think it was just a lot of alcohol and yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I think fitness, but also the tattoos honestly did a world like did a number to my confidence. It was just like you know, more eyes on you. It's like, oh, okay, you know, maybe I am the shit.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. And then given that you sort of do the work part-time for your gym, you come in and out, you work out in between sort of filming
Mm.
content. What do they expect from like, do they expect a certain amount of hours for you to put in each week or a certain amount of posts? Or do you sort of just have a bit of free will and you just need to get done what they ask to be done? Yeah. How do you mix between work and just like hanging out at the gym?
Oh, to be honest, like they're pretty lenient because they like I am probably I know for sure I'm probably the most knowledgeable one at the gym when it comes to content, right?
Mm.
So I in the beginning I just started kind of like going to the gym just to work out like here and there, but they started seeing my I started doing a lot of promotion for them on my personal page. Like every time that I would go and work out, I would give them a shout out, be like, hey, everybody go check out Lifestyle Training Center. Go like this is what I did today, Muay Thai, you know, this and that. And they started seeing my personal content and they were like, hey, do you want to work here? They're like, we need help with our own Instagram. So they basically just gave me kind of like creative reign on it, which is really nice because I could not imagine being in a job that's restricting. Like I know a 9 to 5, like everybody goes to college, everybody gets a 9 to 5 and then they work until they die, you know? But for me, it's like I think always knew like deep down inside that I was not meant to follow like a super conventional path like that. Like I knew that I couldn't sit at a desk for that long, and I knew I wanted to help. I wanted to help people, and I didn't want to sit at a desk. I wanted, basically, I wanted a job where I could do what I want, whenever I want, like how I want to do it, you know. And so, yeah, the gym was basically like, hey, like as long as you pump out content for us, and as long as our followers grow and we get people like showing up, like you're employed here. And I was like, sweet, I'll take it.
That's so cool, dude. That's such a cool opportunity. So
Yeah.
you wake up at 7, you go to the gym, you hang out, you film content, you work out in between till noon, you go home, you have lunch. How far is the gym from your home?
10 minutes?
Walk, drive?
Driving.
Got it. So you drive back, you have some lunch, you go back to the gym afterwards. I guess you do a bit of Muay Thai in the afternoon session. What time do you usually finish at the gym and what do you do after? Is it home, dinner, Netflix, sleep?
Yeah. It's I'll usually like if I go to the gym in the afternoon, usually stay around till like 6:30, 7, just hanging around. Um, Go home, my boyfriend will cook us dinner. We'll just chill, watch movies, and then go to sleep and wake up and do it all again the next day. Or people like have in their mind that like content creators are like these glamorous, like, oh, they go on like adventures and you see them on these like infinity deck pools in Dubai, like all this and that. But honestly, being a like I do the same thing every single day and I'm still a content creator. And that is just proof that anything can be content. Like anything as simple as grocery shopping, going to the gym, sometimes even just waking up, just like you're like getting ready in the morning routine can be a whole reel in its own. I think a lot of people are like discouraged from making content because they feel like they don't do enough in a day. But really it's how you spin it. It's like, oh, like from one point of view, you could be like, oh, this is just me getting up and, brushing my teeth, making coffee, and then going to the gym. But on the other end, it's like, oh, like, check out my like Nespresso machine. Like this is like the kind of toothpaste that I like to use, throw in like a joke in there or something, like something just to like spice it up a little bit, It's all about like perspective at the end of the day.
Yeah. And then does your boyfriend have a similar routine, 7 a.m., go to the gym, and he's like there till like 6:30 hanging out, doing classes? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Very
We
cool.
pretty much, yeah, we pretty much have like the same routine, which is nice because then I don't have to drive.
And then, given that, I guess a lot of Muay Thai classes would be after hours, or because people would work and they would do a class after, like, or does he have classes in the morning till 5?
Yeah, so our morning classes that we go to are at 7. So it'll
Mm,
be from 7 to 8. So then
mm,
most people will do that like before they go to work.
yeah.
And then the PM classes usually start around like 5:30. So
Mm.
then people can like get off of work and just like head over to the gym and just get ready.
And then in between, he's just hanging out.
In between just hanging out pretty much.
Pretty cool.
Just yeah, it's like I feel extremely blessed and I'm like extremely fortunate to be in the situation that I am in now just because, I realize that like not a lot of people get to do what they love every day, like a lot of people work because they have to. I work because I want to. Like I think that's probably like one of like my biggest flexes.
And like, who's at the gym from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Is it like college students, people with because that's usually the time people are working. So like, who's left at the gym?
Our gym, let me see. I would say it's a lot of actually like people like early 20s. There's like a very it's actually kind of funny. There's like a very like obvious like split. There's like a jump where there's like parents, like adults, and
Yeah.
then there's like people like in their early 20s, but yeah, a lot of the time people who work from home too. They'll just come in. They'll like one of the fighters at our gym. She works from home, so she'll come in the morning. She'll spar, open up her laptop, hop on a meeting, like do a little bit of work, close it, go back spar more, and then like just repeat. So yeah, it's always a lot of fun because there's always somebody at the gym and there's always someone to work out with or somebody to socialize with. Just chat and it's like again like combat sports is such a great community just because you really cannot get better at boxing or Muay Thai or jiu-jitsu on your own. You need a team. Like it's absolutely necessary. Because as much like as fit as you are and as much as you can like hit the bag, if you don't actually spar with somebody, you don't know how to fight. You need to implement your skills into like real time action with a real person in order to get better. So like when it comes to combat sports, like it really does take a village.
Oh, what does the gym look like? Is it like a mix of like a Muay Thai gym and just like normal weights and benches? And yeah.
We have like a little like weight area. We have like a treadmill, like couple like cardio machines. And those are like more for like the strength conditioning and the personal training sessions. And then we have like a giant, it's kind of like a warehouse. So we have like the giant, like that metal door. We have a ring right inside. We have like a little mat for like jujitsu, Muay Thai. But personally, I really like working out outside. I need sunlight. I I don't know. I guess it's kind of like photosynthesizing, but just working outside just makes you feel so much better. Like you get a better sweat, little tan, like you just like feel like the energy. You just kind of like absorb it. So we have like squat racks and I usually just try to yeah, just try to do like all my workouts outside.
Is there like a section outside or is it all inside the warehouse?
Yeah. So we have like a little parking lot and then like
Mhm.
a whole like kind of like a little like a little field like behind it. So then we usually are just like running around, jumping around out there.
And all the outdoor stuff, do you have to bring it into the warehouse each night or is it all waterproof
Yep.
stuff that you just keep?
So so that's the warm up is bringing all the weights outside.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's like it's that's sometimes like it's so funny because like you bring out all the weights, you do your whole workout, and then you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, I have to bring all this inside now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. I love working out outside.
Yeah. How long have you been going to this gym nowadays?
I started going in July of 2024. So last summer.
And how long has the gym been open?
Gym's been open for about a year and a half. So I think the gym before I started going, the gym was open for like about a year. And being a new gym, it was like a lot smaller. There was definitely like a smaller community back then, but since then, like I think we're coming up on like year two now, and it's grown like infinitely, and the ideas like just keep getting better and better, which is like it's really fun to be a part of a team that constantly wants to grow. And it's so nice being around people who also want to grow. I think that was like a huge thing for me. It was all the other jobs and all the other environments that I was like in before, like all like the partying and everything. It was like those friends that I had back then, like they didn't want to grow. All they did was they just wanted to work their 9 to 5 and just party, and they didn't really care too much about the gym, didn't really care too much about their health. All they wanted to do was like work their boring ass job and then go get fucked up on the weekend and forget all about it and then repeat and do the same thing on Monday. And it's like, how can you really grow as an individual when like your judgment is so clouded like that or you're so tired and everything? But all the friends that I've met at the gym, like we're always looking for the next workout. We'll like go to each other and be like, hey, like, have you tried this? Like, oh, like, can you help me with my form here? And it's like, hey, like, you're doing great. I think that you should work on, moving forward with your punches. I think you should work on defense this week. And we're constantly like trying to build each other up into like this community of like where we're all like kind of like at the same level. Cause, especially like when it comes to like boxing, it's so much fun like that. Like it's not fun to box someone who's like way better than you or way worse than you. It's like, and so we have like some extremely talented people that are at the gym all the time. So it's all like I always find somebody. I always like every single time that I go to the gym, I always learn something new, which is like that's like a goal for me. Like every single day is I want to learn something new. And so the gym makes it like very easy for me to like be able to do that.
How big is I guess, the club or community, or how many people would be regulars that you would know their name?
Ooh, regulars that I know the name that come in and out of the gym. I would say like our busiest nights are Friday nights because we do full sparring. So we'll have all the Muay Thai, the boxing, and like sometimes like wrestlers will come in. And it gets pretty packed in there. I would say maybe like 25, 30 people. And we're all like either like really good friends or like all like acquaintances with each other. So and it's fun too because on those fight nights, you're not just sparring your friends. You're just looking at some random guy, you make eye contact, and you guys are like, okay, let's go. And it's like, and then you learn their name after, which is like kind of crazy. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna pick a fight with this guy, like just because I know it's good for my training, and then you end up being like really good friends after. That's like always like this joke, like when it comes to combat sports, it's like you guys are literally trying to beat the shit out of each other, and then you go out for drinks after, like stuff like that.
That's so cool. That's such a cool tight community that you guys are building. So I guess what were you doing before you started in the gym July 2024? Were you still working out, but at a different gym. Yeah.
What was I doing? Oh, I actually finished a software engineering boot camp. So I actually went to a software engineering boot camp. It was like a 9 months condensed, basically like course for full stack software engineering. And at that time, I was like, all I was doing was just studying. But I was also work. So at that time, I think that's when I started to like build like my healthy habit. So I would wake up, go to the gym. I would literally be sitting at my desk from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I would go to the gym after and then repeat the same thing. So for me, it's like once I find my routine, that's it. That's all I'm doing for like a few months or even years, you know? And unfortunately, at the end of my boot camp was when the Silicon Valley was going through a major tech career freeze. So they were on a hiring freeze as well as laying off most of their like senior engineers. Yeah, it was just like a really hard time for a lot of people in San Jose, like specifically like in the tech industry, I think. A lot of my friends who were senior engineers at like startups, that they were kind of like, part of like the beginning were getting laid off. And I was like, man, like I tried really, really hard to get a job after that boot camp for about like 6, 7 months. And it's very discouraging, and it's like I worked so hard and I studied my ass off just so I can have like this opportunity. But for me, it's I don't have like a traditional like 4 year university degree. So that actually prevented me from a lot of opportunity just because on my resume, like I can't check off that I have a degree. And so companies looking at that already like look at that and say, oh, like, well, she's not educated and immediately throw away my application. Like there were a couple times where I would apply for a job. It takes around like 20, 30 minutes to apply for just one job, because you got to do the cover letter, your resume, everything. Like, and I think I submitted the application, and literally 5 minutes later, they already sent me the rejection. And I already knew what it was for. I was like, oh, okay, it's because I didn't check off that I had a degree, which was like really heartbreaking at that time because it made me like regret like a lot of my life choices. I'm like, man, like, why did I drop out of college? Like, why didn't I just study harder? Why couldn't I just like finish like, school and all this and that? And it was like a really hard time for me. But I think going to the gym and starting on like my content, just kind of like brought me back and just really showed me that you don't have to have a traditional education and you don't have to like follow like such a conventional path like everybody else, to be successful. I love what I do every single day, and I would say, I do okay. I do pretty well, and I know a lot of people who, went to school and they work 9 to 5s and they're miserable. Like they hate it. But it's like they stayed in it because they felt like that's what they had to do because that's what everybody else was doing. But sometimes like the path less traveled ends up being the right one for you.
Yeah, that's so cool. Does that mean you can code? Did you still remember how to code or
Ooh, I can. I have full stack capabilities, so I can do back end work. I don't like doing back end development, just because I think I'm more on the creative side. So front end development is where I really thrived. I made like a couple like with the team, we made like a couple applications. I tried to do like my own thing on like GitHub here and there, but yeah, I think I don't know. I think I just got kind of like unlucky. I did forget like a lot of it like now, but yeah. And then the one hard thing about like the interviews, like the tech interviews and everything is there's always like a coding challenge that you have to do even before they give you like the application just to see like what your skill level was. And they did this thing like called leak code. I don't know if you're like familiar with that or not. It's basically like software engineering algorithms that you have to recognize and memorize in like 75 lines of code and you have to write it out yourself, and they give you like a time limit. So I remember doing a couple like coding like the coding interviews, and I looked at the question, I just shut off the computer. I was like, there's no way I could do this. But yeah, software engineering, like anything pretty much computer related, is something that I can pick up pretty quickly, that and like it's very like mindless work to me. So I don't know. hopefully maybe one day like the software engineering will come around and I'll end up being able to incorporate Muay Thai and software engineering into one or something. I don't know. There's a reason for everything. I'm sure I did not do that class just for nothing. Like I definitely learned a lot. I think it was a really good way for me to like be disciplined, and I think that's where I really picked up on how to follow a routine. Because the boot camp that I did, it really was kind of like like I'm not gonna say like military style boot camp, but I had a very strict schedule. And if I were to like deter from that schedule, even for like an hour or two, like it would put me back behind like a lot. So I think that's kind of like where I learned to like build like the discipline that I have now too.
What got you into trying to, I guess, into coding, software engineering? Was this before, or after you got all the tattoos?
Oh, this is after. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so I always get like I mean, like I always like get that comment a lot, like, oh, like, aren't you scared that you're not gonna be able to find a job, with all those tattoos? And I will admit myself, like, I do have a lot, To be honest, I feel like nowadays tattoos are starting to slowly become like more acceptable. Like it's definitely not as strict as it was like back then, because I mean, I know nurses that have like full sleeves or, like people in like very like professional settings where they have tattoos and everything. So for me, it was like I don't have any tattoos where I can't cover them up. Everything that I have can be covered up. I might be like sweating underneath, but it's like I can still look like a blank slate pretty much to like somebody who's never met me.
That's cool. And at the gym, when you sort of go hang out there every day, does the owner hang out every day? Like in my mind, it would be so cool if I had a gym and you're just like hanging out, you're getting to know all the customers and you're working out in between of like admin. Yeah, what is it like? Do you see the owner all day?
Yeah, so the owner of our gym. So it's actually our gym, which is kind of like a warehouse setup. And
Hmm.
then on the other side, directly next door, is actually a hair salon.
Oh.
It's a barbershop and a hair salon. So the owner, he has both businesses, but
Uh,
he comes in and he works out. Like I see him almost every single day. Like he's fully using his facilities. So yeah, the owner comes in, he works out. Our manager is there every day. He actually competes. He's a boxer too.
hmm.
So he's a boxer. He competes in some of like the novice and amateur fights and everything. So yeah, we're like very close, like with pretty much like all like the ownership and stuff over there.
So cool. Did he open up the barbershop before the gym?
Yeah, I think it was like the hair salon before the gym, but it was like like they're like connected. So it's nice because sometimes I'll like go work out and then I'm like, man, I need a haircut. And I'll just walk next door and go get a haircut.
And does he cut hair, the owner? Is
Yeah.
he?
Yeah. So our manager, he's a boxer, he cuts hair, and he's a personal trainer.
Wow.
So yeah, so like his life is pretty cool too, because then he goes to the gym, he trains a couple clients, he goes, he cuts hair, he comes back, trains a client, and just goes back and forth. I'm like, maybe I should just learn how to cut hair and just stay there all day.
Yeah, yeah. And it'll probably pretty crazy if he like cut someone's hair and then they came in for like a training session and they also came in for a boxing session. It's like yeah.
So he actually does do that. So one of the outreach programs that we actually are about to implement is
Mm.
former inmates.
Mm.
Just have them. There's like a whole like program, like a whole system, whole community for that already. But we were like, oh, we're open to like opening up our facilities and having them come and like work out with us, and then go and get a haircut after. And it's kind of like a second chance program, but I know like for men, like physical fitness, and also I know how important a haircut is to a man. So so I think yeah, it's very cool like what he does. He said during COVID when everything was like shut down, he would go to people's houses, give them a haircut, and then they would do boxing after. And that's like his whole yeah, so I was like, dude, like that's dope.
That's so cool. And is this the manager or the owner? Or is the manager owner
uh
the same person?
This is the manager. Our owner, he just comes in and like works out and like just yeah.
Oh, so he doesn't cut hair. He just owns the salon.
Yeah, but yeah,
Mhm.
so our owner, he just owns everything, but then our manager, he does personal training and then cuts hair. I was like,
Mm,
dude, that's so
mm.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I noticed, D, on your bio, what is passes? How does passes work?
Oh, so Passes is basically just like an exclusive platform that I'm a part of. It's basically just the behind the scenes, like what you don't see on my Instagram, exclusive content that I have on there.
And is that how long has that been in your bio for?
I think they opened it up. I joined last November. They reached out to me, I think around October, got everything set up. And I remember it was like very close to my birthday when I first opened up my Passes account. So yeah, November.
So cool. And like, how has it been over the last, I guess, 3 months? Like, do you pitch it in your videos? Do people just organically just see it when they go to your profile?
I do post like from time to time, just like remind people like, oh, link is in bio, if you want to see like more. Yeah, I just kind of like I just let it flow. I try not to force it onto people too much because I know it's like not like as familiar of a platform to some people, and some people might shy away from that a little bit. So I just say, hey, like if you're curious and you want to see and you want to support me, what I do like behind the scenes, and just get have access to like some like exclusive content that I don't post on my Instagram, then just come and check it out.
Nice. And it's not like a OnlyFans, or is it like spicier content, or is it just like behind the scenes content? What type of content is it?
It's just behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
I try not to dive into that. Not knocking anyone's hustle, but I just don't think it's for me. So yeah, I post just behind the scenes like bloopers sometimes, just like funny stuff that happens. I also post full workouts on there. So in some of like my daily vlogs, I'll post like one or two things that I do for the workout. But on my passes account, I'll write out like the full workout, how many sets, how many reps. I'll throw in videos and visuals and kind of put like timestamps, kind of like my own like personal like platform where I could just put like do a little bit of online coaching.
Hmm. That's so cool. Last two questions we usually always wrap up these podcasts with. One, any recent discoveries that you've been implementing to your day-to-day life, D?
Ooh, let me see. Actually, oh my gosh, that's so funny that you asked that. So I recently came back from just like a little vacation, just for like a little like mental reset. But one thing that I realized was that my I am a very like caffeinated, bubbly, kind of like energetic person, but I think the downside of that is I am also like very anxious. And so sometimes when I'm just like sitting there, I'm like thinking about every single thing that I have to do all at once, and it like stresses me out. So I actually just ordered a productivity planner. So I used to actually journal every single day. I would, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I would write down five things that I'm thankful for and five things that I have to do. They can be anything from like as big or like as big as like, or they can be like super specific, or they could just be anything like as broad as take the dogs on a walk, and it's just like, even if it's something super simple like that, it's just five tasks that I wrote down for myself and that I accomplished. And I can like physically like cross it off. Cause I mean, I've tried like using my phone just to like write down notes and write down like what I have to do for the week and everything, but then I end up getting distracted, or I don't know, there's something about like physically writing it down and then crossing it off that is just more satisfying, but it also makes you feel like more accomplished. And I tend to remember things a lot better when I write it down like that too. So I'm really excited for my planner to come in. It basically is like the same thing where I can write down like a time schedule, see what I have to do for the week. And like a really, really big thing for me is to write down things that I'm thankful for, because I feel like, we get so lost in our routine, and we get so lost just like trying to make it like day by day, that we often like forget like what we're really doing it for, or like we take things like for granted. There are days like where like I'm not like in as good of a mood. I end up finding myself like comparing myself to other people, like but waking up every single day and right off the top of my head thinking of five things that I'm thankful for even before the day started really helps me to just kind of like bring me back down to ground zero so that throughout the day I can progressively like build myself up, which is yeah, it's really important for me. It also just reminds me to kind of like, reach out to my family. Sometimes I get really busy. I forget to like call my mom, forget to call my dad, like things like that. So kind of reminds me to, keep in touch, keep bases with, loved ones, make sure to check up on your friends. And yeah, just things of that nature, just being thankful for, my health, being thankful for all the opportunities that I've been given, being able to just wake up every day and just, do what I love.
That's beautiful. Is it like a mental note? Do you just wake up when the alarm rings? Do you and your partner do it together? Is it just in your mind, you write it out?
Yeah, so I kind of naturally wake up at like 6:30 every day, 6:30. So yeah, this is something that like I actually like just thought of like within like the last few days, which is so funny that we're talking about this on this podcast was because like I really went on that I recently came back from New York with my sister, and that was kind of a trip for me to 100% fully reset, because even when I'm home and I'm relaxing, I'm like literally laying there and I'm thinking about like, oh my gosh, like I have to clean this, I have to do this, I have to like do the laundry, like I'm like stressing out, I'm freaking out. So that weekend was, I left my laptop, turned off my iPad, put my phone on D&D, just spent some quality family time. And so like obviously coming back, I had some stuff to catch up on, but I was like, man, like I always have a lot of things to do and I'm always thinking about it. But if I were to just write it down physically and see them getting checked off in front of me, that would like just settle my anxiety so much more, because I'm not just standing up and like thinking about everything that I have to do. It's I'm looking at the book and go, okay, this is the next task, and I'm gonna cross this off and move on to the next. I'm not gonna be thinking about all 8 of those things at once. I'm just gonna go down the line, see what's good for me, see what I can do today, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna stress myself out like and feel bad about not being able to do more, or I didn't do enough today, or I did like, that kind of thing. Like I feel like negative thinking, like it just really stems from yourself. So finding like little ways to help yourself be more positive and more productive throughout the day, I think is like absolutely essential. Like, especially as an adult, like we have so many things like going on, and like, it's so easy to just kind of like get lost in the sauce or just get anxious or upset over it. But like we have all these resources, we have little tools and little things that we can do to just put our life in easy mode, and all you have to do is just go out and do it.
I love the gratitude. Good question. A few months ago, I was at like a run club with a friend, and I was like, oh wow, like I really like the V shape you have. It was a female friend,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like offhanded compliment because I was like, oh wow, you're like putting in the work and it's showing.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, like that from a girl's perspective, she didn't want to hear that. She didn't want to hear that. Is that normal, or because I guess a guy would want that V shape, maybe girls wouldn't. But like
But
in my
did
mind, it was just an offhanded compliment.
I don't know. I mean, I guess some girls are like a little more sensitive to like just body comments in general.
Okay.
Me being an athlete, like I will like I'll tell my weight like out like it's no problem, and I feel like if you are not an athlete, that might be a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm,
Just like telling like, because for me it's just so automatic, because as a boxer is you have to fit, or as a Muay Thai, as a fighter, you have to fit within this certain weight class. So for us, talking about our weight at the gym is no problem, because I'll just be like, oh, like I'm sitting at like 135 right now, want to go down to like 127, like, and we'll just say it like very casually like that. But if I were to go to just like a random woman on the street and be like, how much do you weigh? More likely than not, they're gonna be like, that's a very personal question. So I don't know. I think, to me, I don't think that would have been like kind of an offhanded compliment. I would just kind of take it. I think it just depends too. Some I feel like some women can be a little more sensitive to it.
so what's the type of shape that girls would want to achieve for, and it would sound like a compliment?
Um, I guess if I mean, how to compliment a woman. I would say like, oh, you're looking toned, thick. I mean, if they're curvier, girls like to be called thick, but
Yeah,
two C's, not CKs, two
got
C's.
it. Got it. I used to have abs, and like, oh, like I see your abs peaking. They're like, is that
Oh
something?
yeah.
Okay,
No,
cool.
no, that's a great. I mean, I think that's a great compliment. I would just be like, oh, like you look like very toned. You look like you're in great shape. Just general things like that.
Got it. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Last, any personal goals for the next 6 months? Like not work related, I guess not workout, not sort of fitness, not martial arts related. Any personal goals for the next 6 months?
Mm, for the next 6 months, let me see. I like the track that I'm on right now, content wise. I guess just personally, let me see. I guess everything that I do just kind of circulates or stems around the gym or content. I guess maybe career wise, just start taking like personal training clients on. I have done like a few like personal training sessions, like just for like my friends or like when I'm subbing in for like some of the classes at the gym. So I think just personally just building the confidence to be able to like teach someone. Oh, I guess one goal would be learning how to teach because being a teacher is an extremely difficult skill in itself because everybody's different, right? Everybody learns very differently and they're receptive to different methods. You know, like if I'm like some people might really like getting yelled at. And they might like that kind of like aggressive motivation, but you know, somebody who's more sensitive, if I start yelling at them, they're gonna cry and they're gonna give up and never go to the gym ever again. So I guess just learning how to be a good teacher would just be just to implement that into like any aspect of my life, whether it be combat sports, my content, like trying to help other people with their content as well. That's actually a really big goal of mine is I want to help a lot of our professional fighters at the gym get their content up, to just reach out for like sponsorships, brands. Like it just makes it a little bit easier for you, especially as a professional athlete, to have a huge following.
Mm,
um so just little things like that, just to just be a good friend and just be a good teacher for everybody around me, I guess.
love that. What does it mean to be a good friend to you?
To be a good friend, consistency. The
Mm,
my number one thing of being a good friend is you have to be consistent. I don't want to be afraid of any of my friends. I don't want to be afraid of stepping on your toes because you might be in a bad mood, so I can't talk to you about this. You know, like friendship should never be like that, right? We should just be open, you know, we're just having a good time, you know, it's people that like I really connect with. And like I would say over the years, like my circle has definitely gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. I think that just comes with like being an adult too, but the friends that I have and like that I would trust like with my life like now are consistent. They're always going to be there. They're not like wishy-washy about anything, and they're also like the kind of people where like we don't see each other very often, but when we do, it's like nothing's ever changed. So I think, yeah, consistency is the number one thing to be a good friend.
love that. When you talk about sort of coaching and then getting to that space, do you get a lot of DMs? Like, what's your DMs like when you have like, over 50,000, over 70,000 followers? Is it just flooded? Do you get a ton of requests? Are they interested in like in coaching? Do they want you to help? What's your DMs like? Can you go through them all?
Um, I usually don't really check my message requests. I usually don't check any messages or text messages from anybody that I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm like not too concerned. Like when I check it from time to time, most of the time it's just like thirsty ass. It's just people like commenting like very thirsty things on my story, and like
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's like for that sole reason that I don't really check my DMs, because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like this, like they can be there's some of them are kind of creepy, you know. But like the only reason why I would ever like check my message request is I do get a couple like DMs from people who want to work together, that like companies. I've gotten like PR packages from Boba Protein. I have a couple videos that I actually have to shoot for content. So yeah, just things of that nature. I just try to keep it very, very professional on my Instagram. Like, just because I know like people could just be like fronting. So for now, like my personal training, I just try to keep it like word of mouth or people that I meet very organically. Just because when it comes to the internet, you know, anybody could be behind those keyboards, or anybody could be behind that keyboard. Anybody could be saying like basically like sweet nothing and just it ends up just wasting my time, and it's like I only want to really like train people or like work with people who, are going to be one consistent and two who are going to be like legit, they know what they want. I don't want to train someone just because they think that I'm hot and they want to spend time with me, and it's like I know you're not really here to work out, like you're staring at me the whole time, like, that's like what I'm trying to avoid. So yeah, I try to keep my personal training and like but once I do open up the online coaching, I'm still kind of like in the process of like building all like the program together and seeing what works. But once that is opened up, I think it'll be like a little bit easier to filter out like who's serious and who's not.
Yeah, with like a simple form, they'll do the trick.
Yeah, something people people are lazy. So it's like if I put in like a Google form like, oh, for a consultation, more likely than not, if they're just there because I'm hot, they're not gonna go and fill out the entire form, It's like for like serious inquiries only kind of thing.
Yeah, because like I've always like, is it cool just having a ton of people message you, or is it actually like a bothersome? Like in my mind, like if I have just unlimited people messaging me, or feel so freaking so much validation, it's so much attention.
I
Um,
mean, that's like the nice thing about like Instagram is that it'll filter out like if you follow them back, right? So I won't get notified if I just get a message from a stranger.
got it.
Yeah, so the only time that I like really go through like the requests and stuff is to check if I have any like sponsorship deals or any collaboration deals from like, because most of the time they'll just message me through like their like companies like Instagram, because I am like most active there. So yeah, those are pretty much like the only ones that I respond to. Other than that, I mean, I do get like a lot of like weird, creepy DMs, like like people asking me like, "Can I take you to my Air Force military ball? Like it's in Colorado." Like I'm like, why the hell would I go there? Like, come on,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how are you
yeah,
how are you just gonna like DM a stranger and take them to like what seems like a very important event for you? Like,
yeah.
I get weird stuff like that, but other than that, I just try to keep it like as professional as I can.
Interesting. So I think like I only have like maybe 5,000, 6,000 followers, maybe 30,000 on YouTube, and a lot of people would come from YouTube. I'll probably get only like one DM a day, someone asking a sort of technical question because I teach people about e-commerce and business. Are you getting like 30 times the amount of messages I'm getting? Like, are you getting like 30 message requests every day? Like, or is it doesn't scale like that? It's not like you have 30,000.
To be honest, I don't really think that it scales like that. It's
Hmm.
most of the time like my message requests are just from the same people over and over and over again.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's not like 30 brand new people like DMing me something. It's like if you like look at like their message requests, it's they're replying to every single story, like things like that.
yeah, because
Yeah, so oh sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, because I had a friend where he had like 500,000 followers, but he was able to go through all his DMs. Like it wasn't that many. Like in my mind, I always thought if you had like a lot of followers, you're just flooded. But I guess you have to have millions and millions. But I've even met people with like maybe 2, 3 million followers, and their DMs aren't that crowded.
I think it's just it might just really depend on like the kind of content that you put out too.
Mm,
Because the number one thing that people will reply to are stories.
yeah.
It's very, very rare for somebody to just straight up send me a DM. Like it does happen where they're just like, hey, and then that's it, but more likely than not, people need something to respond to. I would say I post pretty interesting stories sometimes, like something like very like either like questionable or something kind of weird, something kind of funny or something like kind of quirky, and then those are usually the stories that I get like the most replies to.
Got it.
Yeah, so I think your DMs will only be flooded if you give them a reason to.
Uh,
Yeah. So
nice.
you gotta, it's give and take. You gotta put the bait out there for people to kind of like bite. Because there are times where like, the strategy is I will post something and I know that people are gonna respond to it. I know that like it's a little like a little edgy, I guess. And I know that it'll like kind of like an attention grabber or it's something funny, you know? Like people love to see funny shit. I think another way to like get more like DM engagement is to ask questions. They have like the little question feature on your story, be like, hey, like what kind of content do you guys want to see? Or If you would like in your case, like, if you were interested in the podcast, shoot me like a discussion topic that you want to see with this person or a person in this field, like something like that.
Mm,
Like
interesting.
just adding that chance, like giving them that chance for engagement is will make a world of a difference.
Yeah. What's an example of like an edgy story that you would put?
Um, I did one recently about it was you know how there's specific songs that just remind you of either a person or a memory, specific time in your life kind of thing, right? So I posted that one knowing that there were probably going to be some like interesting stories in there. So there were ones where people were saying, "Oh, I bonded with this girl over this song." And then the lyrics ended up becoming true, and it's like some song about like the girl leaving him, and like kind of like dicey things like that. Like people love tragedy, so they want to hear like stories like that, or I don't know, just try to be like funny, engaging. I'll ask questions from time to time, like what kind of content do you want to see? And sometimes people will like comment like weird stuff, and I'll post that response. And then I'm like, look at what this guy said,
Yeah,
like things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
That's pretty funny.
Mhm.
What time is it over there now, Dee?
Right now it is five coming up on 5:30. It's 5:24 right now.
So what would the rest of the day look like for you after
Mm,
this?
Let me see, 5:30 right now. I just came back from my trip, so I might not make it to the gym again, but I will probably just be decompressing, doing laundry. I have to look at my checklist. Yeah. I mean, if I'm not at the gym, pretty much home, just doing normal things, just cleaning, laundry, cooking. I do have two dogs, so I spend a lot of my time cleaning, so
What are your two dogs? What breed are they?
I have two French bulldogs.
Oh,
Unfortunately. No, they
interesting.
they are my angels, but like any pet, comes with a lot of responsibility. And yeah, my dogs make sure that I have a lot of responsibility. They keep me on my toes.
Awesome. Dee, where can people get more of you?
Um, I would say, well, I got my TikTok back, which was great. I know you guys didn't have to deal with that, but we had to deal with that whole TikTok ban. So I was out for about a month. Probably try to get back on TikTok, keep up with like the Instagram reels. I actually also just rebranded my YouTube. I was doing tattoo podcasts before, but now I'm trying to gear it more towards like just lifestyle in general. So for if you like tattoos, if you like to work out, kind of like a one-stop shop for everybody. So I'm just trying to slowly like build and kind of get used to the YouTube layout, because that's kind of like that's like my last infinity stone that I haven't really clicked in yet. Was I've never really ventured off to YouTube, and just like getting used to like the analytics, the dashboard. Because for me, it's like before I dive into like social media, like I like to do like the extensive research on like the back end. Maybe that's like kind of like a software engineer thing where I have to think about the front and the back end. But I really like to try to hack the algorithm of anything that I do. Like if there's any way for me to like climb the ranks or for me to get an edge, then I'll do and implement like a lot of research into it, to always give myself pretty much like the upper hand.
Interesting. When you did that research for Instagram, were there things that you saw or noticed? Do you look at your retention graph? Yeah, tell me about that sort of back end research.
Yeah, so I do look at the analytics for each of my videos, just to see like what the engagement was, because Instagram is really good about telling you pretty much like the full statistics. So it'll even narrow it down to see how many people watch past the first 3 seconds of your video. Like that's how specific it is, and it'll kind of like give you like a little like comparison chart and everything. So I like to read those and kind of like study the content that I just put out and see like if I can find like any correlations. And I'm like, oh, like this one didn't do too well. I posted it at this time on this day. I started out with this, like my video was about this, and kind of take all of that and like help myself like trying to like hack this, like hack like the Instagram algorithm pretty much.
For your account, what are the correlating things that lead to a good video? Like what time, what day, what hook, what lighting? What have been the data you've collected over the last year?
Mm, I think I actually so I'm 100% Korean, right? But actually my top videos are I'm 100% Korean, but I live in a very dense Vietnamese population.
Mm,
So I actually do speak like a little bit of Vietnamese, just like little catchphrases, like little things like here and there, like just enough to like get by, and to understand like the culture. So I understand Vietnamese culture very well. Like all my friends, like I'm pretty much like the honorary Vietnamese at the party. Like I have my ao dai in my closet. I got everything. I light firecrackers, all that, Yao, Hennessy, Heineken, all that. So
nice.
actually the videos that I do the best on that I monetize the most off of are the ones that have Vietnamese jokes in them. Yeah,
Um,
so I think I don't know if it's like just because the Vietnamese community has been like so up and coming and it's so huge now. I don't know if it's because of that or it's because of the fact that I'm Korean, but I understand all of this like culturally.
yeah.
Um, I still haven't been able to figure out which one it is, but my Vietnamese reels end up doing like the best. So I don't know. I just kind of if like the joke like occurs, if it comes to me, then I'll just like make a video on it and yeah, it's fun.
When you look at the comments, could you tell if they know that you're Korean, but you're doing these Vietnamese jokes? Or does it look like that they think you're Vietnamese and you're doing these Vietnamese jokes?
I get Vietnamese a lot. There are some people who like comment and they're like, "Oh shit, like she's Korean, but she's saying these Vietnamese jokes." Or sometimes they'll just like assume that I'm Vietnamese and just like comment like laughing or something. And then
Yeah.
if they comment like something in Vietnamese, my best friend, she's like straight from Vietnam. So I'll usually like go to her and be like, "Hey, can you translate this for me?" But then
Yeah.
I'll also ask her, I'm like, can you tell me like the pronunciation too? Because for me, it's like a huge thing that I love is I love learning languages. It comes very naturally to me.
Hmm.
So like picking up like Vietnamese was fun.
That's so cool. And then when you say the ones that had the Viet jokes were the most monetized, what does that mean? Or do you get ad revenue on TikTok? Is that how it works?
So Instagram, I think it's after you reach 10K, you can start monetizing a little bit off of each of your videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you all you have to do is just apply for it. There's a threshold. I don't quote me on this. I want to say it's 10K. But after that, it's pretty much just like flipping a switch. It's like flipping like the monetization like switch on, and then I mean like the ones that I post like from day to day, like it's a couple dollars, couple cents. But the ones that do really well actually end up like generating like a good bit of revenue. Another reason why I just thought of this, I think another reason why my Vietnamese reels do so well is I have some pretty big pages that repost it or add it to their story. So like for example, like the Vietnamese community, right? Like I'll post a joke in Vietnamese. Subdoc will repost it. Vitches, jackfruit, for the culture, like those kind of pages will go and repost it, so it ends up getting more and more traction.
Oh,
So I love the Vietnamese culture. Like I'm fully embraced in it. Like I love it. But I also do post those videos for that intention as well. I know that like these people have a huge market. So for me to kind of like get my name out there, I gotta joke with them too. Because yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Vietnamese culture has just been like up and coming and just growing. It's like like they've been making like waves, like, and it's great to see. Like I love it.
yeah, because just following from Australia. Like I guess back in the days, like I'm thinking like Rice Gum was like a really big Viet
Hmm.
creator. Now there's like Jason the Ween, he's been
Yeah.
crushed it. And then like there's like I don't know what Seaside is, but like there's that place where all these Asians
Yeah.
go to. I guess there's like the rave scene, and then a lot of
Mhm.
Viets go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and then I guess there's all these Viet pages on Instagram that are popping up. I, but there haven't been too many Viet craze. I guess there's like Jason the Wayne. I've seen what's that girl? Tiffany Bobby or something. Tiffany she has
Yeah.
um I can't remember the Zhang guy, but you're right. Something is brewing, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. Like I just feel like as like an Asian community, like in whole too, like
Yes.
social media like has really been able to like just like absolutely catapult like Asian culture into mainstream. Because
Mm,
I mean Vietnamese people like their culture is just so like widely known and it's so like so embraced because like it's fun. They love to drink, they love to party, and it's like we pop fireworks, like we're like it's like part of the culture. It's like fun and like the stereotypes are so true that people love to play into it.
yeah.
And it's like we show all of that on social media and now people are like getting more and more interested. I mean that's that for like the Vietnamese community and like look at like the Korean community and K-pop. Like people
Mm,
are dropping like an insane like not more non-Asians are probably following BTS than they do in Korea. Like
mm,
I've met some like hardcore like K-pop fans and to be honest, it is completely terrifying. Like I would not want to spend individual time with these people because it's actually kind of scary how
yeah.
obsessed they are with Korean culture. But it's like, hey, like, I never would have thought that I would to live in a world where, being Asian was cool. But here we are now and it's great, like content wise, just like like our media and everything. Like there's like that like Asian influence in it, which is it's great to see.
Especially your trajectory and your story from like childhood, elementary, high school, and like
Yep.
it changed a lot.
It's so funny too because everybody that made fun of me like going like this to me in elementary school are they're the ones dropping like 10 grand on a BTS concert. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, see, I knew it. I knew it was gonna come back around. Like y'all wanted to make fun of me for being Asian and saying ching chong, and now they're singing along to all the lyrics and like reciting the Korean like extremely well. And I'm just like mind blown. I'm just like, all right, see, I knew it. I knew it. I
Forked
was
out
like,
so much money.
right? And I'm just like, you know what? As long like I was like, I might have gotten bullied for all of this like back then, but like we walked so they could run.
That's it. That's it. So I'm Vietnamese. I'm always surrounded by Vietnamese friends. One of my older brothers, who was sort of like older friend, older mentor, but it's like an older brother to me. He's Chinese. He's in San Francisco, and he's dated, a few Vietnamese girls. And he says Viet girls are crazy. That's it.
Oh,
That's his thoughts. What do you think he means from that? Especially from you being a Korean girl. Like, what do you think he's trying to say? Like, why are Viet girls crazy?
so I live in like an like extremely like dense Vietnamese population, and I hear that like all like I hear that constantly. Like I see all the jokes about like toxic Vietnamese ABG. All
Yeah.
she does is listen to Millennium and break your heart, like that type of thing. But honestly, it takes two to be toxic. So if they're going around saying like, "Oh, Vietnamese girls are toxic," like there's a common denominator in all of this as well. It's the individual calling them toxic. So to be honest, I don't think toxic has is limited to any race. I've met some crazy people of all races. I think that's just like another stereotype that people really like to play into is like the Vietnamese ABG, Tiffany Nguyen, like that it's just like a stereotype to be honest. And sometimes people like they don't even date Vic girls and they're like, "Oh yeah, Vic girls are crazy. I would never date one." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, date one first and then let me know how it is?" And I know a lot of Vietnamese girls that are just like good girls.
Interesting. What do you think would be the stereotype for like the vegan? What's like the common stereotype, and how does it differ to like a Korean girl stereotype?
Um, I would say like I think just because like drinking is such a big part of Vietnamese culture, just straight off the bat, that could probably be why some people think that Vietnamese girls are toxic. They're not toxic, they're just drunk. Just let them be until the morning and then like let me know if they're toxic or not.
Yeah,
I feel like for Korean girls, the stereotype is, there's the K rage. Like
yeah.
they know that Korean girls are like very sweet, but then like once like they have like short temper, short fuses. And I guess another stereotype is like Korean girls can drink, like Vietnamese girls.
Mm.
That does not lie true with me. I cannot drink for shit.
What's your Chinese zodiac animal, D?
I am year of the ox.
Fox.
Yeah, I am a huge, huge person when it comes to like the Chinese zodiacs. I absolutely love doing research for Chinese zodiacs. That's why like I think out of all like holidays, I think that would probably be my favorite just because like it's like that like New Year's celebration, you know, and I one of like I think I would say like a first date question for me is definitely like what's your Chinese zodiac? But this is ironic, but I think like the whole Sagittarius, Aquarius, whatever avocado is all bullshit. Like your rising moon star alignment, whatever, that's bullshit. All right. Like you can't justify your actions because you're a Virgo or whatever. And I cannot stand astrology girls. But the Chinese zodiac, very true. The compatibility is very true.
Did you check the compatibility with your partner's animal? What is
I
his?
do. That is actually like one of the things that I actually check before we actually start getting kind of serious, which is like, you know, people are going to be like, oh, but you don't believe American like astrology. Yes. But I do think the Chinese, in my dating experience, I do think that the Chinese zodiac compatibility has proven to be extremely accurate because my boyfriend is you're the snake and I'm an ox. So we are compatible.
Oh,
So I do like to check it like just for fun, like just to see, but I don't know. All in all, it's all of it is bullshit, but it's fun.
what's the characteristics of an ox?
Oxes, you're very stubborn, which is very true for me. I am probably one of the most headstrong people like that I know.
Hmm.
Um, it's supposed to be very hard. Okay, that's like kind of like the negative thing, but like on the plus side, you're very hardworking, very humble, and very loyal. Because the story is that the rat jumped on the ox's back and swam across the river. And so the rat jumped off first, so it came in first place. And that's why the year starts with year of the rat. And then the second place is the year of the ox. So it's supposed to be like you're like a great supporter for other people. Like you're like a great support system.
Thing. Do you know your Chinese elements?
Ooh, I think mine was like a fire ox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I think my American astrology, I'm a Scorpio, a fire sign or water sign. That one I'm not sure, but something like that. I'm supposed to be like a very like fiery personality, that kind of thing, but I don't know if that's true or not. I try not to get mad. I try to, you know, I really try to be like an ox, just, you know, chill, just humble, just rooted.
Nice. Thanks so much for your time today, Dee. This is such a
Yeah, of
fun
course.
conversation. You're so chill, you're so open. You do have that sort of bright, bubbly energy, and you can
Oh, thank
see
you.
the screen. And then I love your whole journey and story. And I think like
Oh,
everything happens for a reason. And
right.
I think it will be cool trying to connect this, especially with the coding, the engineering. Like I feel like that's going to
Mhm.
come in play. We don't know where it fits in now, but I'd
Yeah.
love to like look back 10 years in the future and see exactly why that needed to happen.
Right? Exactly. Yep. I'm still waiting for it too.
Guys, if you made it this far, please let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys got value from this episode, and I'll see you guys next week on another episode. Peace.